ladies. Gotta acknowledge you all. You're my energy givers. Is that fair? Is that fair? Okay, now. So we had conversations this morning that were remarkable and so tied to my conversation, I have to acknowledge them. Caroline talked about look up. Then we had Jamie, Becca, and Afnan, right? And they talked about friendship. Anita talked about speak up. I'm here to tell you that all those things, you will hear those same themes in my conversation. Courage is shown in acts, not in words. It is not bluffing, arrogance, or madness. A courageous man or woman is the one who dares to do what he or she finds is right and bears the consequences of his or her acts, whether they be political, social, or individual. My brave starts at 6 years old. My childhood is filled with upheaval and uncertainty and dysfunction. My parents, they're addicts. They make a lot of bad decisions that affect 3 little boys in dramatic ways. My father left when I was 3 and I never see him again. My mother, at the pinnacle of her neglect, she actually would abandon us, leave us in a trailer for 5 days. 8-year-old, my older brother, me at 6, my little brother at 3. We barely have any food, barely have any water. We don't know what's going to happen. We've had enough. We're going to tell on her. We're leaving this trailer. We're going to be brave. We walk out the trailer, we don't have a plan. We frantically look around. There's another trailer. Let's bang on the door. We bang on the door. A stranger opens the door. It's a woman. Can I help you? My mommy's not here. We're not even in school. I yell at the woman. She goes, what would you like me to do? Can you call my mom and pop up in Philadelphia? They'll come get us. I know the number. She dials the number. She hands me the phone. I tell her my mom, pop up, mommy's not here, and we're not even in school. He goes, well, where are you? I don't know. And I turned to the woman, I said, excuse me, ma'am, where are we? Oh, you're in Bowling Green, Virginia. My mother had taken us well over 200 miles away from Philadelphia this time. My grandfather asked to talk to the woman. They have a conversation. Next thing we know, we're at a bus stop. She's having a conversation with the bus driver. You see, my grandfather has asked a crazy request. Would you take those 3 boys down to a local bus station? Would you find the bus driver that's going back to Philadelphia? Would you explain to the bus driver the boys have no parents or money, only a promise? I'll pay the bus driver once they return. 8, 6, and 3. This stranger comes to our aid. She finds the bus driver. She explains the situation. He agrees. Now, I need to give you full context. The year is 1964. I'm well preserved. I like to tell people the engine might look good, but the chassis is definitely rusty. I'm the Black Benjamin Button. There you go. But full context, the civil rights movement is going on. 3 African-American boys are in the South. The bus driver she approaches is white. I'll never forget, he looks us up and down and he makes a decision. He's going to be brave. You boys are going to sit in the seat. You don't budge. You don't bring attention to yourselves. I'm going to get you back to Philadelphia safely. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Scared to death. My grandparents, as promised, they're right at that bus stop waiting, and they pay the bus driver and they take us in. In my grandparents' neighborhood, I actually discover something that changes my life, starts the whole roller coaster. I discover a ball in a playground. And at that playground, I learn about belonging and connecting. But something more important happens at that playground besides sports and play. It actually becomes the symbol of addition, of adding, of a plus, of positivity. But more importantly, that plus sign is about something magical that happens because I moved back with my grandparents. You see, I'm availed a tribe of matriarchs, strong and influential women who would raise me up, strong and influential women who would collectively share their wisdom, their insights, their passion, their simple truths, their laughter, their fun, and their play. But more importantly, what they shared with me was belief. Belief that I could rise above my circumstances. Belief that my circumstances didn't have to dictate my destiny. So my first matriarch, the first one that I would meet, would be my grandfather's mom, Nana Carroll. Now, Nana Carroll had a rule. When you came to see her on Sundays, Nana Carroll had to be greeted. But Nana Carroll was loving and diabolical. Nana Carroll had a rule. You will come and greet me, but you have to be, and I thought this was the most awful, just horrendous, outrageous demand, you will be still. You will be still for 5 minutes. 300 seconds? Nana Carroll, you were so mean. I don't want... Now, boys, and she would touch each of us on the head. Be still. I had no idea what she was teaching me. She was teaching me about focus, about being present. Be where you are. I wouldn't appreciate it until I became an adult. But Nana Carroll was already starting to put in my mind about discipline and focus. She was one of my first matriarchs. Daredevil, the man without fear, an advocate. You see these beautiful pictures around the room of superheroes? These young ladies who shared their abilities that they wish they had or their superhero has and possesses. See, when we have a superhero, it has something that we don't have. I needed courage. I needed to be the man without fear. But when I see Daredevil, I always think of another one of my matriarchs, my mum, my grandfather's wife, Winifred Twyman Carroll, Winnie. Winnie was a power broker, and Winnie took no stuff from anybody, and Winnie would say, speak up. Didn't we just hear Anita say that? Speak up. She would also add in there, a closed mouth don't get fed. You need to speak up. You need to tell people if something's wrong and you don't like it, you tell them. I learned about speak up through a moment with a teacher. Now there's this great saying, I learned it from a young person, haters are my motivators, right? Haters are my motivators. So I had a hater and a teacher. She wanted to convince me that sports was not to be my focus. So I don't know how many of you remember when you went to grade school, if you got in trouble, you got a note pinned to you. Some of you are nodding your heads, you got in trouble too. I got a note pinned to me one day from my teacher, and I had to come home and present it to my grandparents. So I walk into the house, it's literally like the Scarlet Letter. Nobody wants to sit next to you on the school bus. Everybody knows you're in trouble. I walk into the house, I'm really dejected. I'm coming in, and my grandma says, how was your day? Mom, I got a note. Well, what does it say? I don't know, we're supposed to read it together. So she unpins the note and she opens it up. Could you please encourage Kevin to think about something other than sports? I'm terribly worried about him. He might be incorrigible. My grandmother said, incorrigible? What does that mean? We're supposed to look up any words we don't understand. Well, let's look up incorrigible. Incorrigible, unpromising, unremarkable, unruly. My grandmother says, I think I'd like to write a note back to your teacher. She turns the paper over, writes a note, pins it on me the next morning. I come strolling into school. Hey, I got a note for you. It's from my mum. You need to read it. She takes it off, she reads it out loud. Isn't it wonderful that he's not like everybody else? And if that's what he loves, so be it. So now I'm empowered. Now I'm starting to get my confidence. Now I start to discover something really wonderful, books. Where the wild things are, come on now. First book I ever took out of the public library, I love the divas of the Dewey Decimal System and digital search. We know those librarians, right? They're amazing and magical. I had wonderful librarians at the public library and in my school that helped me understand that reading makes you better. But I also had this wonderful matriarch in my life, and this was my grandmother's sister, Annie Roro, Rose, eccentric, fantastic, and odd. I loved her. Annie Roro would always share these wonderful moments with us when we would go to her house on Thursday nights when my grandfather would go to choir rehearsal. One day, Annie Roro pulled me aside. She says, I had a vision about you. I need to share this with you. I said, okay, Annie Roro. She says, I'm going to give you a new nickname. I said, oh, that's great. What is it? It's going to be $1 million. $1 million? Why? She says, now listen, I'm not going to promise you that you're going to have $1 million, but people are going to look at you one day like you're worth it. Can I tell you, I stood up, $1 million. Annie Roro said that. My brothers are like, I want to be $1 million. I want to be $1 million. My Auntie Roro said, nope, there's only one, and it's him. When I got that nickname, can I tell you, my self-esteem, my confidence, my posture literally changed. I tried to make myself small. I didn't want to draw attention. I didn't want anyone to ask those tough questions about where's your mom at, where's your dad at, where'd you come from? But when Auntie Roro gave me that $1 million moniker, are you kidding me? I'm about something. I'm going to rise above this. I'm going to do something unique. I got my smile back. I got my confidence. I had my swagger. And then a very special moment happened. A confrontation. I like to call it a catalytic confrontation. It happened at that playground, Preston Playground. A new kid moved into the neighborhood. His name was Norman Alfonso Lane Jr. Little boss. He became my best friend. But it wasn't the start that we had. It wasn't that way at first. In fact, we actually had a squabble. We had a fight. The kids egged us on and they wanted us to fight. You two are about the same size, man. You two need to fight. I don't want to fight him. He says, I don't want to fight you. They said, well, if you two don't fight, we're going to beat you both up. Oh. So I look at Norman, he looks at me, he says, it's okay. And we kind of have a little dust up. Everybody walks away. They're really disappointed because it wasn't some amazing pugilistic moment. And Norman looks at me and he gives me a peace offering. You want to come to my house for peanut butter and jelly? I walk to his house, I meet his mom. I meet my CEO, my chief encouragement officer, Phyllis Carey Lane. Miss Lane and I would have a 46-year-long friendship. 46 years from that day. 9-year-old Kevin Carroll would meet this woman who would change my life in ways that no one could ever imagine. Miss Lane and I became inseparable. She's my mom. In so many ways, that woman poured in me things you could never imagine. Kevin, I'm gonna give you something today. What is it? I'm gonna give you 2 magical words. What are they? Why not? Why not? She says, that's right. Why not? I'm gonna give you permission to dream big. Miss Lane, I'm thinking about playing the cello in the school orchestra. Why not? Miss Lane, they're having the Shakespeare tryouts at school, and I don't know, maybe I want to be in a play. Why not? Miss Lane, why not? You can do whatever you put your mind to, but don't talk about it, be about it. We got lots of talkers, but very few doers. Be the doer, Kevin, be the doer. Now, you know what? I'm going to give you another tool. What's that, Miss Lane? It's an amazing tool that most people can't master. It's 3 languages. Oh, tell me. The first language, you've already got it down. What's that? The language of your peers. You can we be, she be, he be, they be, any kind of slang you want. You can talk with your friends that way anytime. Oh, that's great. The second language is the language of respect. If someone has earned it, you give it to them. Okay? She said, now I'm going to tell you the most difficult language. It's going to be the one you'll chase your entire life. The language of the world. Where you're comfortable and confident in any situation. Where you sit there and they know, without you yelling and screaming, that you have a presence. That you are formidable. That they will pay attention to you. That's the language I want you to chase. The language of the world. And as I started to understand that, started to understand the power of Miss Lane and what she had done for me, she said, I'm going to leave you with another thought. This is always when we're sitting around the house, having a good time. Miss Lane was picking out my fro from time to time. I had a big one back in the day. And we'd have these conversations. So one day she says, Kevin, I'm going to give you another little insight. What's that? A way you need to start every day, your daily attitude. I said, what's that? You need to start every day with a level of curiosity and humility. Start off every day with a level of curiosity and humility. So I love this quote because I think it basically summarizes that thought. I have no special talents. I'm only passionately curious. I have no special talents. I'm only passionately curious. Albert Einstein? Isn't that beautiful to think that someone that is so remarkable would start each day with that attitude? I'm a 0 trying to be a 1. That's my attitude. Every single day I start off a blank slate. I'm just trying to advance to be a 1. If we have that attitude, if we go after those things in a similar fashion that all my matriarchs said to me, be courageous, speak up, be a lifelong learner, always make sure that you're trying to advance an idea, turning ideas into reality. Make sure that you're trying to master the language of the world because it is one of the most important things you'll ever have at your disposal is be comfortable and confident in any situation. And recognizing that if you start each day with a level of humility and possibility, anything is possible. And so the result of my matriarchs, there are numerous ones. I want you all to know that my mom, I count her as one of them, she taught me resourcefulness and resiliency. My grandmother, my Nana, my Auntie Roro, Ms. Lane, my wife Grace, my stepdaughter Kavina. One of my dearest friends who also has a 46-year-long friendship with me, Melanie Lane, Miss Lane's daughter, is here. And Melanie and I were actually supposed to get married. It didn't work out. Her mom had a plan. I had no idea. She was grooming me for her daughter. We find this out when we're teenagers. Melanie and I are onto it, right? And we have a conversation. Now, you know it's never going to happen. I said, I know. You know too much about me, and you know too much about me. And we said, it's okay. We'll just be the best of friends. And we've always been that. And as a result of all these female influencers, these strong and influential women in my life, who knew that I would rise above and become an advocate for others, a catalyst for others, an author, and a speaker? Oh, the places you'll go.
Catalyst.
Flat out. So, that is a result of all those strong, influential women in my life. The power of matriarchs, what they can do. The fact that they can provide you with something I think is so critical. They bring their collective energy, wisdom, and magic. Magic. Now, I want you all to understand that I have for this audience a bottle of magic. And it says, uncork the possibilities. Now, you all can't see the faces of the young people down here. They lost it. What? He has magic? That is one thing I want to impress upon the adults in the room. Don't lose those eyes of wonder, eyes of possibility. Celebrate the unexplainable. Revel in that. Know that sometimes you don't know. It's about your faith and belief in something bigger than you. We heard the term dream big. It's absolutely about that. And so I'm going to be leaving this as a gift to the TEDxAustinWomen team and for all of you, because I do believe that you all are about uncorking the possibilities in others, of bringing your magic, of making a difference in the world. And also for you all, because you all look like you go to the same school, right? But I met a young lady who said her sister did Kindle up here. Where is she? Are you Kindle? Kindle, this is for you. You're very welcome. So, Alexis, Sarah, Allie, Gina, Jacob, the whole crew, Janelle, I know you're around here somewhere because I've been driving you crazy with all my requests. This is a bottle of magic for you all to handle, but even more importantly, it's for all of you. When you get desperate, when you get a little bit like, I can't do it, you know you've got magic in Austin. You know you have the power to make a difference. Thank you so much for your time and your attention.